April 4th, 1968, and the phone rang at 7 minutes past 7. His assistant's voice was not steady. "Mr. Peck, Dr. King has been shot. In Memphis. He's gone. Wait." Because what Gregory Peck chose in the next 90 minutes, the room he walked into, the vote he forced, and what he said when a man told him the Oscar ceremony must proceed, would test something he had carried since Berkeley. And Audrey Hepburn, in Los Angeles, that week because her marriage was quietly ending and a lawyer had asked her to be there, would be sitting in the corridor when it happened. He sat for 30 seconds after hanging up. He thought of Sammy Davis Jr., scheduled to perform in 4 days. He thought of Sidney Poitier presenting, of the 2 nominated films, both about a country that had just watched a man be murdered for asking it to be better. He picked up the phone. Have you ever had to act on principle before grief had finished arriving? The emergency board met at 9. 14 men, 12, understood. The ceremony could not go on April 8th, the night before King's funeral. 2 did not. Miles Hartley made a rational case. Postponement would cost the network $1 million. Affiliates needed midnight contact. "We are an arts institution," he said. "Not a political body." Gregory let him finish. He always let people finish. Then he stood. His voice came quieter than everything else in the room. 4 Black artists are scheduled on that stage: Sammy Davis, Sidney Poitier, Diane Carroll, Louis Armstrong. A pause no one filled. "You are asking them to celebrate the night before they bury the man who told their country their lives mattered. That is not a scheduling question. That is a moral one. 6'3" of controlled authority in a room that had gone very still." Hartley pressed precedent, the first delay in Oscar history. "The question," Gregory said, with the patience of a man who has taught a courtroom to hear itself, "is whether this institution believes its convenience is worth more than the dignity of the people it is asking to entertain it." He did not raise his voice. He never raised his voice when he was most serious. Can you imagine watching a man dismantle an argument with the same unhurry he would bring to choosing a single word? He did not know Audrey was in the building until 20 past 10. She sat near the elevator, coat still on, cold coffee between her hands, eyes carrying the stillness that belongs not to peace, but to sustained grief. Her marriage to Mel Ferrer was ending quietly, the way things end when 2 people have been polite too long. She had come because Gregory's name was on the door. "I heard about Dr. King," she said. Her voice was steady, the way voices go when what is underneath them is not. He sat beside her. He did not ask how she was. The question would make her choose between honesty and composure, and she had been making that choice too often. "The ceremony is being postponed," he said, "announcing tonight." She nodded. "That's right," she said simply. The way she said things, she found obvious. "Do you know what it means to hear 2 words carry an entire moral position without argument?" He returned to the room. "There is a woman in this corridor who survived German occupation as a child," he said. "She came tonight because she knew someone inside was going to make the right decision." She said, "That's right," before I finished explaining. He was not using Audrey as a weapon. He was using her as evidence. Hartley did not speak again. The vote was unanimous. Gregory returned to the corridor. She was still there. "Good?" she asked. "Good," he said. She looked at his hands and saw them trembling. Now, the tell he could never suppress, once steadiness was no longer required. She covered them with both of hers. Briefly, exactly. Have you ever been held in place by someone who understood what that cost? On April 10th, Gregory opened the 40th Academy Awards with a tribute to Dr. King that left the room in the silence only truth makes. He received the Jean Hirschholt Humanitarian Award that same night. Audrey's marriage ended that summer. Gregory called in September. He asked about the children. She said they were well. Then, what you did in April mattered. He said he had only done what was obvious. She said, that's the hardest kind. This is what Hollywood once required, not just talent, but the willingness to stand still until the room understood what stillness meant. Share this with someone who remembers when character was not optional. Subscribe to keep this era alive. And tell us, which Gregory Peck film taught you that the right thing and the easy thing are almost never the same? Every memory deserves to be heard.